The thing that bothers me most right now when I look at crypto is this histogram. This histogram looks very, very bothersome. This image right here, this market should come down. This image right here is telling you that we are in the midst of a secular cycle peak here. And you want to see what I think it's actually going to be like? So I think this loom is exactly what the whole damn thing is going to look like. Straight up, orgy face rip, straight back down, orgy face rip. Yesterday, I was going on at length. There's no fucking way I can be a buyer up here either. So I just have to leave it alone. And frankly speaking, that's exactly what I think my philosophy is. And especially now that this M has come in here, I think honestly, the best thing to do is just leave this thing alone for the time being. If you want to short and you're aggressive and you're one of those adventurers, I mean, you can see the bear div. You can see Willie rolling over. I'm actually, no, that's not even a bear div. It's just rolling over. It's a divergence off of this high way over here. And that probably shows up, I think, on the daily chart, which is even scarier, right? Because when the divs and stuff form on the daily, the higher time frames, be careful. So daily price chart on the old corn, price action, inside bars have now fired. As I said, off that 4 hour, this does make like a double top and market smiling. We were up into parking garages off of this there to, oh, this was the A, B, C, D. So the question is, where is the A to B? I think that's there to there, there to there. Slightly higher. It's not much higher. It's just slightly. So that set up 1.618 as sort of the alt ABCD level. You've heard me say this in the past. 1.618 alt ABCD levels, you probably should expect some sort of pivot off of that. And actually, that's interesting looking at that because I think that's actually the double top fail level here. So here is that 1.618 and there is that topping level. Actually, I guess the top came in there. Definitely nosebleedy. Very risky. And then, on the daily charts, MACD just looks horrific here. I mean, maybe MACD actually goes and W's out here and we continue higher. I don't know. That seems awfully suspicious. You can see the buying interest. Buying interest was pretty active here, pushing to new highs, but nowhere near the amount of buying interest here. So volume divergence. RSI ridiculously overbought. And actually now, folks, oh, hello. Can you see what's coming in here? So who can tell me, is this a strong sell signal or is this a weak sell signal? And what do we usually like to do? We usually like to make the first one teal, right? So first M looks like that. And now second M is like that. And of course, we do the second one in yellow. I mean, it's a sell signal. It's the second M and it's yellow. So it's definitely a sell signal. So the question is it a strong signal or is it a weak signal? So the answer that I'm looking for is if the second M on your RSI study comes through the 50 line, that is a really strong signal. And that's way down here. So with that said, right, we can just double click on this and we'll even go 500 and 500. And then let's copy that. And then we'll go back here and we will write 500 on there. Are we making an M through the 50 line? You see where the 50 line is? Is this M coming through the 50 line? The answer is no. So since it's not coming through the 50 line, then that means, is it a weak signal or a strong signal? The answer I'm looking for is, well, Brian, is probably a weak sell signal. It is a sell signal. I'm not going to fight that on you. That's pretty nasty looking. And maybe, through the day, white knight appears and all of a sudden Bitcoin rallies. I don't know. But that's a sell signal. It is the second M, and it is coming on a move through 74. So I would call that a weak sell signal. And you can even see, I mean, do you see like an absolute stampede of sellers here? No, it's actually pretty quiet. And probably, like I would say the very first thing to expect is maybe like a 13 EMA tag, right? A tag of a fast moving average. That to me seems logical. Hey, there you go. So you can see 13 EMA is actually sitting right at this 38.2, which I think is the 38.2 off of the all-time high. Also notice too, 13 EMA is basically a revisit of that 4669. And we got this 1.618 floating out here. So my hunch is that this thing probably is going to like oscillate around, and this fast moving average will act as support. That's usually what happens. It is a sell signal. It's just not a really strong one. And frankly speaking, I think that makes sense. Is the market actually topping out? There's a couple of interesting things that jumping out at me here. Very rarely do I see a situation where Bitcoin's actually trending lower in earnest, but the altcoins are actually trending higher. That's a bit suspicious. And then you remember our ship captain guy. I don't know where the hell he is. I guess what I would probably say is, what is a realistic, it's too bad we don't have all the data here for this thing. What's a realistic sort of objective here? Like if we just look at this range right in here, and we ask things like what's a chaos level, so there up to there, and chaos, boom. All right, so we've blown right through all of these sort of natural levels, boom, boom, boom. I mean, can we make our way up to 877? I don't know. But there's also this one way over here. Let's see where that takes us. Oh, that's also painting up top there. So maybe the altcoins still have further to go. I did see that Ethereum, like we said, is pushing higher. So as a result, probably a lot of the Ethereum type altcoins are probably doing quite well. Did hear actually from Zug here, he says, like, I'm hunting a short on names like this ICP. He's an adventurous guy. Bit of red coming out of here. There's the green names are few and far between. The thing that bothers me most right now when I look at crypto is this histogram. This histogram looks very, very bothersome. This image right here, very, very bothersome. This market should come down. That if it, for whatever it's worth, I don't know if it's worth much, but this image right here is telling you that we are in the midst of a secular cycle peak here. You saw what happened in the country funds, right? When we were down here at the bottom. And I mean, you see how the stock market, you see the NASDAQ and the S&Ps, they've all gone crazy to the upside since that event happened. Well, this is exactly the same, but just the exact opposite out of crypto. This is telling you, and it's telling me, maybe you don't believe it, and that's fine. And you want to see what I think it's actually going to be like? Is I actually think that we got a heads up of what this entire market's going to look like when we were looking at that loom. So I think this loom is exactly what the whole damn thing is going to look like. Straight up, orgy face rip, straight back down, orgy face rip. And on balance, the irony of it all is, what do we say the natural growth rate for stocks is like on an annual basis? It's like 11% annualized return. So ironically enough, even from the double bottom breakout, let's say you bought there and you're still holding. Well, you're up right now. What is that? That's 186% off of the bottom here. 186%. But in the interim, it went up like what, 10,000%? What is that? Almost 1,000%, and then to basically lose 1,000% or something like that. So that's a 78% drop, right? So that's what I think is happening here. And yeah, I think you're going to see this right across the whole damn market. And you want to see a good example of this, poor old Chris, the market's just teasing him right now, and I hope to God he didn't chase. But can you see it? There's another example. It's happening as we speak. Hey, look at that. I look at YouTube, and both two people just said, hey, look at BNT. So do you see how we're getting a bit of a reoccurring theme here? And this is what I'm fearful of. You're going to see, there's the double bottom. So, all right, the thing's a buy from, say that level there. And if I'm playing a stock market, okay, well, I'm more than happy with a 20% return. If I get 20% return, I'm laughing. Even the rally to there was 48%. Here, you made 300% return off of the bottom. And of course, crypto kids, well, that's just getting started. This thing's going to go to the moon. What was really interesting about this particular story is I actually think, and Chris, I don't know whether you're ready or not, but I actually think that, probably 88.6s off of this are going to be our signal that, hey, we got to start looking for some sort of reversal. So where the hell's that? There it is there at 54 cents. And notice, candle body highs and lows for trade location. Wicks and tails like to be eaten. Where's the original bottom? I could very easily see that this thing just tanks right back down into the original bottom. Right. Cole says this crypto market feels like a combination between June 19 and January 20. Well, they always say, history doesn't repeat itself, but it does rhyme. So you should see similar type behavior. I guess what I'm just concerned about here is this space. The quicker it turns into, oh my God, this is a rally, it's orgy mode, we're all gonna get rich. The quicker the bull literally stops on a dime. If anything, what you want is you want this thing to just slowly make higher highs and higher lows and not do this face rip shit. Because the face rip shit is usually the hallmark of the end of the move, not the beginning of the move. And if you're not familiar with that, I would write that down.